It is 5/14. Black History Month isn't just about celebrating the achievements of African Americans. For many black people, it's also about knowing where you come from.
The shaping of that identity obviously starts with family, right? And it's the reason why many African Americans are now on a quest to know more about their family roots. Here's our Allison Rodriguez.
Now, you just met your third great-grandparents, your great-great-great-grandparents. And Latifah, in 1860, they are listed by name in the census. So what does that mean?
That means they weren't slaves?
That means you descend from free Negroes. You descend from free people of color.
For African Americans, tracing family history can be a long, emotional journey filled with roadblocks.
Thank you, Lord.
Our country's history of slavery and segregation, making it more challenging for African Americans to find information about their ancestors.
African American research is the most challenging research there is because of the lack of many paper trails. And to be able to find persons that you're looking for, especially as it starts getting back a little bit further, is you need name, dates, and places.
Larry Lee is the founder and former president of the Black Family Genealogy and History Society of Phoenix. He started the nonprofit organization after beginning his own search for his family roots.
So one day I had a friend that introduced me to what a pedigree chart was to trace family history. And I went over to the LDS location in downtown Mesa. And I've been involved ever since. That's been 30 years now.
Larry took the few details that he already had to a family history center. The facilities across the country are run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they have access to all kinds of genealogical records.
My mother, God rest her soul, was able to sit with me, and while I'm going through microfilm readers, just rolling over and over it, looking at microfilm and microfiche, and helping her to go back and recreate some information that she would tell me where they lived, where she went to school, other names of households near them. It helped me to be able to know I was on the right track.
I got here in 1983.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. Didn't know I had a gift coming.
I didn't think I had any family here at all.
Different life circumstances brought Linda Morris and Lee Peavy to the Valley. It would be years before the two would find each other. Lee, who was adopted, found Linda while searching for his biological family.
And it was just amazing. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And we're learning more and more every day.
They both have been extensively researching their family trees. Lee uncovering more than 3,000 family connections, while Linda has a little more than 2,600 in her family tree.
I found out that my haplogroup actually was the same haplogroup as historic Eve in the Garden of Eden, which means that my generation, and then some of the admixture shows that my people were a matriarchal ruled, came from a matriarchal ruled country where women were strong. Well, we see that same resilience in African American women today, who actually sometimes have to be the strength of the family. Not that they want to be, but they have to be.
African Americans are not only using at-home DNA kits to uncover their identity, they're also using federal census data. However, it wasn't until 1870, the first census after the end of slavery, where African Americans were listed by full name. Rosalind Matthews says to overcome this stumbling block, she turned to military pension records from the Civil War.
We are learning so much about what our ancestors thought, because they had to have affidavits of where they lived, whom they may have been enslaved by, some of the struggles from the questions that they asked. Remember, marriages for African Americans were not documented on a document. So in those pension records, they will talk about who they were married to, who their children are.
As you dig deeper into your family history, be prepared for the possibility that you could bring some family secrets to light. Matthew says, though, it's all about taking it in stride.
I've come to have a strength where I am just so proud of our ancestors and what they have gone through. and what we are learning through their stories. And I think it's up for us to tell their stories as truthful as we can.
That's a beautiful story, Allison. Thank you for that. And also everyone in this story, thank you for sharing your story and your history with us. Now, she says she has some tips here. If you're planning to research your family history, save the information in at least three places: on paper, on a device like a computer, and in the cloud, too. We talk about that a lot. They say you'll always have access to the information just in case something happens, because, of course, you'd hate to lose it after all that hard work and such beautiful, meaningful memories and connections as well.
And if you have living grandparents, right? Try to have those conversations. So much of it can come to light. Wow, what an incredible story. I mean, all along the way.